Everfree Guardian, Chapter 2.
Well, there he is.
Nate looked up from the path as he was coming onto Sweet Apple Acres. It was early in the morning, near crack of dawn in fact. All of the Apple family were buzzing about to get the day started, preparing wagons and baskets while Apple Bloom, the youngest of the bunch, was getting ready for school. Applejack, her elder sister and main farmhand of the ranch, was wearing her usual checker pattern crop top and denim shorts, her cowboy boots fitted with dried up mud and grime from the work that she did yesterday and over the few minutes that she's been awake this morning. Like Fluttershy, Applejack was a looker. Not as much as Fluttershy in terms of femininity, but the cowgirl was still gifted with both womanly aspects and a strong body. It had a charm that would woo those who were looking for hardworking women. Tipping her Stetson hat back, the cowgirl Mare offered a smile down at Nate, and she stood about a head taller than him.
I didn't figure you'd be coming so early. What's got you up and about this morning, Chicker Cube?
Nate didn't say anything. He didn't need to. Holding out their newspaper that he retrieved from their mailbox before coming up the path, he offered it to Applejack. Page 3, Article 5. Applejack blinked before taking the paper and reading through the section that she was told to look for. Finding it only made her grimace, then frown.
Oh, shucks. I thought that's what this is all about.
You know about this? Applejack nodded as she rolled the paper up, tossing it to her brother, Big Macintosh, as she put on a pair of working gloves.
We heard some commotion yesterday and went to see what was going on. When we found out that some mare saw you near the edge of the Everfree fighting a manticore, we tried to disprove the mare before it got out of hand, but turns out even the honest word of the apples don't sway the ponies out of their little gossip and fun.
She shook her head as Nate growled, keeping his hood up and hands in his pockets to negate anyone from seeing his human traits. Damn stupid, just annoying as people.
Oh, don't get your panties in a bunch, Sugar Cube. It'll all pass once the next big thing comes around.
I guess you're right. Nate walked with Applejack as he picked up a thinner pair of gloves. So, what's on the agenda today, boss?
Well, Granny Smith had an issue with her hips, so she's gonna be bedridden for a good while. Big Mac and I gotta start up on the apple bucking, so can you do me a favor and take Apple Bloom to school?
Wait, take her to school? The orange mare nodded, and she loaded up a few more baskets.
We got a few less trees to worry about today, so taking an hour tops ain't gonna hurt the progress none. That, and I don't have anyone else to bring her, so would you please?
Nate looked up at her, then towards Apple Bloom, as she struggled slightly to get her backpack on. Pursing his lips, Nate passed Applejack and grabbed her sister by the bag. Lifting it up, he straightened it out and let go, allowing it to thump on Apple Bloom's back as she shook off the struggle fit that she was just in. Looking up at him, Nate nodded for her to lead the way, as he looked back at Applejack. I'll be back after I drop her off.
Thank you kindly, Nate. We'll have a few baskets ready for you to take to the barn when you get back.
He nodded as he ushered Apple Bloom along, following her down the road as he kept himself shadowed by the hood. He didn't want anyone to find out that he wasn't a pony, especially now that the news caught wind of him. Being extra careful as he made his way to the less populated side of Ponyville, he looked down at Apple Bloom. So, how's school going, kid? Getting along fine?
It's going okay.
Nate rose an eyebrow, and remembered something that's been going on for a while now that he's been working for the Apple family. So there's this family in town. They call themselves the Rich Family, which is a household run by two wealthy ponies named Filthy Rich and Spoiled Rich. According to Big Mac, they're entitled pieces of shit who influence their daughter, Diamond Tiara, to be as painful to others as they are with the community. Now, the Apple family had issues with them because Diamond Tiara and her friend had been harassing Apple Bloom and her two close companions for God only knows how long. They've called them blank flanks, ostracized them from the others in class who are nice but have cutie marks, and recently it's beginning to become physical, which crossed the line for Applejack. She was gonna file not only some complaints to town hall, but also get the family arrested and in court for harassment. Nate bet a few bits that Granny Smith would get a restraining order on them and even refused to sell them any of their apple cider or other merchandise. Oddly enough, it was him to persuade them to wait on it and give it time. He was sure that a few other solutions would arise, but now he was starting to see the mental toll it was having on Apple Bloom herself. He was afraid that his involvement in making them wait may have made the problems at school escalate. Truth be told, he was just a worker. He had no business getting involved with the Apple family drama. But still, Applejack is his friend, one of the few real ones that he's ever made aside from Fluttershy. Seeing as friendships like that are rare, he's willing to commit mass homicide and drench this town in red if it meant keeping Applejack and her family safe. And the same went with Fluttershy and her animals. Be that as it may, he only had one task right now, and that was to get Apple Bloom to school and head back to the farm. However, upon coming closer to the school, he already figured that there was going to be a bit of a holdup. The Rich family was there, father and mother both, and they were none too pleased with the mare who taught the students under her. What they were saying was incoherent, since Nate and Apple Bloom were outside and the parents and teacher were inside. But he was still able to make out enough through their lips that the issue was with the apples. Sighing, Nate ushered Apple Bloom to go play with the other kids and cautioned her to stay clear of her bullies till this exchange inside blows over. Nodding and walking off in another direction, Nate did something both really bold and really stupid. He got involved, again, stepping back from the front door of the building, which was just a giant classroom with an outdoor bench for lunchtime. Nate waited as the door began to open. Filthy Rich and Spoiled Rich stormed past him, yelling back at the teacher about how she won't be hearing the last of them. Judging from their attitudes, they didn't seem to get what they wanted. Looking back at the pair, then turning forward, he waved to the teacher as she came out, looking him up and down. Seeing Applebloom come up to his side and grasp his hand, ignoring his gesture for her to go be with her friends, the teacher put two and two together. Hey there. I'm sorry to come knocking like this, but I just wanted to let you know that I was dropping off Applebloom from Sweet Apple Acres. I'm an employee of the family, and I've been seeing a lot of turmoil that's affecting our work. I know it's none of my business, but I wanted to know if everything was okay. The teacher held out a hand.
Yes, thank you for coming. Quite frankly, I don't care who among the apples come to settle this, I just need it solved. My name is Miss Shirley. I'm the one who teaches at this building for the young fillies and colts of Ponyville.
Nate shook her hand, before holding up the other. As much as I want to help with this, I'm only a worker. I have no relations with the Apple family other than that, but perhaps it's better if you talked with someone like Big Mac or Applejack herself. Shirley gave a forlorn frown, a sigh of extreme disappointment as she wanted to get this over and done with as quickly as possible. The Rich family was breathing down her neck with threats and bribes, wanting this all to go away and have the Cutie Mark Crusaders expelled for putting so much on their daughter. It was bullshit, and Shirley saw it from a mile away.
Yes, I know I should. This shouldn't have become so much of an issue. Filthy Rich and Spoiled Rich are becoming increasingly agitated, and Diamond Tiara's bullying isn't making the situation any better. If you do get the chance, can you let Applejack and Big Mac know that I want to have a conference here at the school?
Nate nodded, giving a thumbs up as he stepped off the porch of the school's entrance. I'll do it as soon as I get back. I'm supposed to be out in the fields with Applejack anyways, so I need to get moving. He looked out towards the schoolyard, seeing Applebloom with her friends. If you want my opinion on the next best step before nipping this in the bud, try and keep them separated until the parents can sort this out. If Diamond Tiara has the guts to keep picking on those three, even with this going on, she'll cause more of an uproar with the apples. Believe me, that's not something I want to see. Shirley wholeheartedly agreed, looking out into the schoolyard herself as Nate stepped off and began walking down the path. Stealing a glance at Applebloom, he could see her doing fairly decent right now. She was enjoying herself, and her two friends were good company, it seems. At least now Nate can leave and head back to the farm in good conscience. Anything that comes up, Shirley can deal with it. He's overstayed his welcome in Ponyville, and he wasn't willing to risk his existence in a town already suspicious of him. Making his way back through the less populated side of Ponyville, Nate managed to re-enter Sweet Apple Acres without running into anyone. Opening up the gate, he strolled on in, rolling his shoulders as he popped a few bones in his fingers. Looking around as he got to the house, he eyed the landscape for anything orange and moving. Sure enough, he spotted something that fit half of that description, standing atop the first hill of the orchard. Stepping away from the house, Nate climbed the hillside, as he could hear his boss sighing out in relief after a morning's hard work.
Oh, hey, boy howdy, Big Mac. There had to been at least the smallest bunch we ever had to harvest all season.
Yep, almost too small for two ponies to have done it.
Applejack smacked your brother's arm, as Nate finally reached them, approaching from behind.
Oh, don't be like that, Big Mac. No matter how small it is, a morning spent apple bucking is a morning well spent.
Big Mac hummed as he crossed his arms. Applejack, hearing Nate coming, smiled as he walked up beside her.
Howdy, Sugar Cube. You back from school, I take it?
Wouldn't be anywhere else, boss. A gentle snicker came from the farm mare as she looked out into the empty apple trees, the three standing there for a while before Applejack glanced down to Nate.
Y'all getting along okay?
Nate turned his head away, pursing his lips as Big Mac sighed, closing his eyes as he shook his head. Turning and walking away from them, Applejack pinched the bridge of her nose, as she could see what Nate was implying.
Let me guess, the Rich family?
Nate nodded, which incited a growl from the orange earth pony.
Celestia, damn it.
Nate glanced back at Applejack. She barely held a ripe green apple in her hand, her fingers digging into it as she stormed away.
I'm getting sick and tired of this shit.
Nate rose an eyebrow at Applejack, seeing that she took up more from him than he realized. The apples were an honest bunch, and that also meant with their feelings and their words. If she was swearing like he would, he knew she was pissed, and was better left alone. Turning back to the path leading into the apple trees, he could spot the baskets down below, filled to the brim with apples. Heading back to the barn, he grabbed the wagon used to haul them and began making his way down. When he reached the first basket, he picked it up by its hem and sat it near the corner of the wagon. Moving on to the next, he placed it down to the left of the first one. Again and again, he'd repeat the cycle for the rest of the morning and well into the early afternoon. Move the wagon, pick up the apple baskets, and place them in the wagon. Rinse and repeat. Shit's hitting the fan pretty damn hard in the gossip department. Oh, but I'm sure everything will be solved soon. Maybe a few punches could be thrown, but hey, it's all part of the thrill. Anyways, let's get on to our humble donators. Top donators: TacoCat598, Peter Coulthard, Jason Man, Darkside, Gauntlet, and Only One Thing. Zar630, Strix, Raiden, Narwhals, Black Moonheart, Drake Lovedragon, Pastel Skies, Austin Roland, Crazy Killer 557, Nike Kruger, Dospo, Madman Stan, Delta Omega, Jack Hedge, RuneScythe9852, Hudson Norman, Stephen Bingham, Michael De Larimore, Dash of Evergreen, Riney Dragonwolf, Ponyman, Tall Rasha, The Toilet Snake, Sword Brother and Mordred, Ron and Wandering, Random Person Man Guy, Easy, Skyochia, Leslie Prickett, Jordan Peterson, Crimson Kitsune 9, Lightskin, Monster Kitty, Needs a Life, Milan Biahenek, and many more awesome people. Thank you all very much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.